Idaho Second Amendment Alliance. It is May 10th, 2023, and I hope you guys are all enjoying the much cooler weather these last couple days. It's supposed to be heating up once again, but I wanted to jump on for a few minutes today and talk about gun grabbers are finally coming out and saying the quiet part out loud. We've all known for a long time, we've been in this fight for a long time. The goal of the gun control crowd is to ban all firearms, right? They want a England type situation or Australia. Technically, you can still own firearms in those countries, but it's extremely rare. Maybe more of a Japan style situation. And even there, you can have guns, but it's under extremely limited circumstances. But a group in Colorado, let me get the name of it right here. Here for the Kids. like okay, whatever. We all know they love to. It's always for the children, right? Um, a group in Colorado called Here for the Kids is finally saying the quiet part out loud. We've all known, and we've said for a long time, groups like Moms Demand Action, Gabby Gifford's group, all these groups, their goal is to ban all firearms. That's what their goal has been. It's not this common sense gun reforms that they always say. They want to ban all guns. At the end of the day, that is their real goal. And so I guess in some regard, I have some respect for these people at least saying the quiet part out loud that nobody's really been willing to say up until this point. But I wouldn't be surprised if you don't start seeing a lot more groups like this who just flat out say we need to just ban all firearms, right? And so that's their goal. And this is a group out of Colorado, and they are asking the governor of Colorado, who's a flaming liberal, obviously, Jared Polis, I think is how you pronounce it. He was actually, if for those that don't know, if you've never seen the Rocky Mountain Heist, I think it's on Vimeo for free. Go watch the Rocky Mountain Heist. Jared Polis, who's now the governor of Colorado, was a major part of flipping Colorado blue. Um, Literally, no one is trying to ban fire. I don't know who this Anthony Early is, but go check your facts. Literally, the group says we want the Colorado governor to ban all firearms. So, yeah, get wrecked. But Jared Polis was a major part of flipping Colorado blue. If you remember, this is about 14, 15 years ago now, somewhere in there. Colorado had a Republican governor. Both U.S. senators were Republican. Most of the U.S. congressmen were Republican. And both chambers of the state house were also controlled by Republicans. And during the Rocky Mountain heist, liberals had mobilized and come up with a plan. It's called the Colorado Blueprint now, to flip the state blue. And they did that in about a decade. And they're doing the same type of stuff here. So, this group Here for the Kids in Colorado is now working with Jared Polis to try and ban all firearms, every single one of them. And again, that's really been their goal the entire time. If you look at a state like Idaho, okay, the gun grabbers here will just say, well, we just want some common sense gun reforms. Universal background checks, which is a backdoor to universal gun registration. Maybe they don't really talk a lot about banning what they call assault weapons, but they would go for that too. And that's how it starts, right? They start off with the quote unquote easy stuff. And then you look at states like Colorado and Washington, then it turns into red flag laws, and now we're banning this, and we're banning magazines over a certain size, all this crap. And it's just piece by piece by piece by piece until you get to this point where they've done most of those things, and now they're like, well, we just really need to ban it all. Okay, that's the jump that they're making is from, well, we want to ban AR-15 style weapons, and we want to ban magazines of this size. And when they realize that none of that's actually going to solve the issue of mental health and the godless country that we live in now, they move to, well, we'll just ban everything and then hope that that works. Of course, the criminals will all have all of their firearms. The police, who they all hate, are still going to have all their guns. And the government, who they don't trust either, are also going to have guns. So we all know where this is headed. We all know that this is the ultimate fight that we were going to have, was whether or not we were going to be like Japan or we were going to be the America that was founded. The problem with a place like Japan is they started off with no firearms. Their populations really never had firearms, at least in the modern era. Um, you can't do that here. And with all the surrounding countries and our porous border that clearly nobody seems to care about, um, really easy to run guns up and down this entire continent. So firearms are always going to be in the hands of criminals. There's far too many. Even if you wanted to ban them all now, there's way too many. And you're not going to get compliance from well over half the country if you just come out with an outright ban on firearms. It's not going to happen. And I can tell you from experience, having served in Iraq, that weapons caches were everywhere. Everywhere. The Iraqis had buried weapons, and not just AK 47s, grenades, rocket launchers. They had buried weapons all over that country. And, we would find weapons cache after weapons cache after weapons cache in that country and destroying them, and there was still just an unlimited amount. And that's in a country like Iraq where they had fairly strict gun control. In a country like the United States, it's never going to happen. It's not feasible. I'm not saying the law won't pass. I'm just saying you're never going to get rid of the guns. It's not a thing. And we fought a war over the Second Amendment, and we won. Okay, so the Second Amendment will always be there unless somebody figures out a way to go and ratify the Constitution and take it out, which is also not feasible at this point. But I just want to jump on for a few minutes, and because again, this is the quiet part out loud. I can probably throw this in the comments here for you guys. I'll throw this article that I'm looking at in the comments, so people like Anthony Early can see. I don't like literally the article and the group says they want to ban all guns, and you got idiots like Anthony Early who are like, literally, no one is trying to ban firearms. Okay. But that is the quiet part out loud. Finally, that's there. You're starting to see. I've seen it at protests where they'll be like, just repeal the Second Amendment. Um, but now having groups starting to come out, I would not be shocked to see a lot more gun control groups following suit from these moms in Colorado called Here for the Kids, um, wanting to ban all firearms. So that's what they're looking to do. That's what they're looking to do. Like, oh, look here. Thoughts. So they have this is on there from their Instagram page. It has thoughts and prayers crossed out. Ban effing guns. Okay, so it's the actual word. That's the type of lovely people that you're dealing with here. Here, I'll throw this in here too. There we go. That's also in the comments, and now you can go read their trash. So yeah, oh, look, make no mistake, the Second Amendment is white supremacy and anti-blackness in action. Okay. Anyway, I'm not going to go through all that. You guys can go get a good laugh out of their garbage that they posted on there. So, anyway, that's all I've got for now. Take care. God bless.